Have you ever noticed there is a voice inside your head that never stops talking? Not out loud, but it's the voice that replays a conversation from 3 days ago at 2 in the morning. And this time you say the perfect thing, but nobody's listening. Or it's the voice that watches your hand reach for the third slice of pizza and says, bad idea, while your hand keeps moving. It's the voice that rehearses an argument with someone who's not even there in the room, and somehow you still lose. It's the voice that wakes you up at 4 a.m. to remind you of something embarrassing you said in 2014. You see, we all call that voice ego. And most of us think it's an enemy, something to kill, something to transcend. But that's all very narrow-minded stuff. Here's the thing. The one who notices the voice replaying that conversation at 2 a.m., that person is not speaking at all. Let me tell you something. You see, the ego is not a little man inside your head doing whatever it wants. It is just a soldier who has forgotten that the war is ended. It is not a soul. It is not a solid object. It is a functional construct built by your brain for one purpose, which is to survive. That's it. Think of ego as your brain's CEO. It takes the data of the world and it creates a story. That is all it does. Let's say you walk across the room to pick up your keys. The ego says, I decided to walk across the room. But the decision to walk happened milliseconds before you were consciously aware of it. I observed this with myself. You see, the thought, I want to eat Oreo ice cream, comes only after the craving has already formed. Your ego is a narrator who shows up after the fact to claim ownership and stitches something together logically. That's all. Consider it like a football match. The commentator describes the action, but the player has already played. The commentator does not control the game. He or she only narrates what has already happened. That is what your ego does. And here's the thing. It is not a problem at all. We have been told from the beginning that ego is an enemy, that it must be destroyed, and things like that. But this is all very narrow-minded stuff. Without ego, you cannot protect yourself. Without your ego, you won't even know where your body starts and where it is ending. You won't even know the difference between you and a lion. You need a self to protect. A deer needs a strong sense of me to run from a lion. Similarly, you need a strong sense of you to navigate in social groups, avoid pain, or seek reward. The ego is not a mistake. Only narrow-minded people say ego is a mistake and things like that. It is a tool built by millions of years of evolution. So, those people who can't think deeply say ego itself is the problem. Ego is not the problem. But here's the thing. The ego narrates, it protects, it tells stories, and none of that is the real problem. The real question is, who is listening? Who hears the narrator? For whom does all this appear? I know I might sound like Ramana Maharshi, but this is the truth. Because we all have been so busy looking at the waves that we never pay attention to the ocean. You see, many people tell us that we are the process. You are not even the process. You are the awareness in which the entire process, ego, thoughts, brain, body, all these things appears. Think of a movie projector on the screen. The movie is your ego, the story of me. The projector is your brain, spinning frames. But the screen was there before the movie started. It will be there after the movie ends, and things like that. The movie is just light and shadow. It feels real. So real that you forget you are watching a projection. Especially if you watch Interstellar, you will be so immersed in the movie that you will forget it is a movie. But the screen is never affected by the movie. The screen does not become the drama. You are the screen. The ego is just a movie. Or consider like a video game. Sometimes I play video games. The computer builds a world around the character. Walls, enemies, and treasures, and things like that. It then places a marker on the avatar so it can track where you are. That avatar is your ego. Just a marker, a functional pointer. But the mind gets so used to it that it starts believing, I am this avatar, I am this story, I am this person with this name and this history. That belief is the ego. Is that a problem? Absolutely not. But you are not any of these things. You are that on which all of these things appears. The ego is a wave on the ocean. You are not even the wave. You are not even the water. You are the capacity for the ocean to exist at all. Once you understand that you are the substratum, the ego will only do its job. It will not start an entire drama. Now, why does this matter? Because the ego exists to protect you. But then the ego forgets it is a tool. And the very thing that created to protect you becomes the source of your suffering. Animals also have ego, but it is very thin. Mostly they have ego surrounded around hunger, fear and survival. Humans have the same body ego, but we also have language, memory and imagination. So the ego becomes thick. We start telling stories. I am the one who failed at school. I am the one who was betrayed. I am the one who will be successful someday and things like that. This thick ego is still trying to survive, but now socially and also psychologically, not just physically. And that is where things become suffocating. Every time you think, I am not good enough, your brain adds a scene to the movie. Every time you think, I am angry, I am smart, I am a failure, the story gets more detailed. After a while, the movie feels so solid that you forget it was something you made up. The ego says, I need to protect myself. But who told you that you are the one who needs protecting? Before you believed I am the body, there was no need for survival. The need for survival begins with the belief in being a separate self. The ego arises because of the forgetting of your true nature. That's all. And the ego rushes in to fill that gap, like water rushing into a hole. You are already free, and that's the whole truth. You are already whole. You are already the infinite awareness behind everything, whether you like it or not, or whether you believe it or not. The ego is the forgetting of this. That's all. And forgetting needs no one. It is simply a mistake. You see, once you turn your mind inward and see this for yourself, that you are not the ego, not the narrator, not the story, the ego returns to its proper function. It narrates, it protects, but it no longer creates a drama. It no longer interferes. All these things are just the play of the mind. You remain indifferent to them, like sky indifferent to the clouds passing through it. You do not have an ego. That is an illusion. You appear to have an ego, just like a sky appears to have a blue color. The blue is not wrong, it's just an appearance. You are the self-aware reality, the ground of all being. And I'm not joking. If you think I'm joking, please turn your mind within and see things for yourself. From the very beginning, you have been the self alone, nothing else. So ultimately, I will conclude my speech by saying that follow the message, not the messenger. I am doing all this social media just to make a living and for the joy of speaking alone. You are the self-aware reality, which is the substratum of all, whether you like it or not, or believe it or not. Thank you.